Everyone, this is Marjabin Balaj from Pakistan, and you're watching my YouTube channel Insani Ittihad, which aims to invoke a little bit of humanity in all of us through awareness and understanding. Well, first and foremostly, I'm really saddened, and it is such a catastrophic news, a very sad news. Hearing about the loss of life in the recent earthquake hitting Syria and Turkey. Um, and it is really, I mean, it is a natural phenomena, earthquakes coming in, because both the countries, especially Turkey, is situated on a tectonic plate, at the Earth's center, at the crater, and there have been earthquakes in Syria and in the Mediterranean, Sea, and it's such a, and it's something which has been happening historically, all through in the ancient times. But it's unfortunate, definitely, the loss of life. So much the cities have been, the infrastructures, and so much has been destroyed, and may Hashem give peace and patience and persistence to people going through such difficult, catastrophes, and the world has to, help, humanitarian help, and these are the moment where, humanitarian commitment and humanitarian unity comes in, and we can see, it most prevalent that, people are coming in irrespective of their religion or caste and creed, or their differences even. People, I mean, yeah, all sorts of people just come in, and be there for people who have lost so much in terms of their family members or their economic livelihoods, or, I mean, it's like losing everything. So really sad news. And there was another reason that I wanted to come in and make a video, was in regards to how, how was the post earthquake commentary was going on. It was really strange for me to see that there was this a message circulating on WhatsApp and social media, saying that within 48 hours or 72 hours, similar magnitude earthquake will hit Pakistan, and particularly Islamabad. And me and my sister, we were actually traveling when the earthquake actually hit Syria and Turkey. Me and my sister, we were traveling to Islamabad. We were in Islamabad, and people were just reluctantly, forwarding this message that similar, sort of magnitude and, intensity-wise, earthquake will come in Islamabad. Now, yes, Islamabad is also on a tectonic plate, and it is vulnerable for having earthquakes, because it's on that sort of a train. But there has to be, I mean, Pakistani people have gone so mad, and so, so have become so pessimist, thanks to our lovely neighbor India, who has, through their media and through their social media analysts and influencers, have ingrained this, I mean, there's just, I mean, it amazes me to see that they're just so brilliant in propaganda. And then I look back and I see in the history how these Nazis were trained by, Subhash Chandra Bose and all these Indian radicals, who were, fond of this RSS, ideology, this pagan supremacy over the Abrahamic, monotheism, that they, propagated. I mean, they're just so good in propagation. So all the Indian media and the, the Indian analysts on YouTube and other social mediums, they have just they hypnotized the entire nation of even the pseudo intellectuals, the very educated and intellectual, the elite class. They think that all the bad things are happening to, they have, transformed their mindset as such that all the bad things are only happening in Pakistan and with Pakistanis. So there is an earthquake which came in, Syria and Turkey. The same will happen to Pakistan. I mean, they're two different tectonic plates. Syria is on a different, point, and at the different equator. Pakistan, Islamabad, we are at a different equator, and 48, Baruch Hashem, I must say, 48 hours, 24 hours passed, 48 hours passed, 72 hours passed, and up till 72 hours we were in Islamabad. And I was like, my sister is an environmentalist. She was laughing and I was laughing. How do such people and such fake news come in the minds of Pakistanis, and then they spread it? Such, idiotic people, and they forwarded it, please forward Jazakallah to say, and then they involved religion into this, and I'm like, oh my God, there is a limit to nonsense. But Pakistani, even the intellectual people have been brainwashed by these Indian media, and the Indian media and the Indian, analysts on YouTube, they have nothing else to report, they have nothing else to discuss. Just one thing, if it had the earthquake in Syria or Turkey didn't happen, they would have invested that time also to focus on Pakistan. The Pakistan people are dying, they don't have food, they don't have flour, the atta. So atta is the Urdu for flour. So we are having a flour, crisis. We have an atta crisis, and there is no bread, and there is no food, and people are starving to death. And I mean, it will be moments or hours that entire Pakistani public would come on streets, and it would topple the Pakistani army and take control of the nuclear bombs. And then this, please, US and the international will ask Pakistan to default and merge into Pakistan. I mean, it's one of those India, these analysts and the reporting of Indian media reminds me of this, this lover who was in love with this woman, and she just betrayed him and ran away with her, other lover. And he's like into that zone of she's gonna come back to me one day, crying, and she would beg me to accept her back. That sort of mentality. And it's like, evilifying Pakistan, and all the bad things are happening in Pakistan, and the poor Pakistanis have gone into this hypnosis that all the bad things will happen to only to Pakistanis and only to Pakistan. And if anything bad happens elsewhere in the world, it will also happen in Pakistan for some reason. I don't understand why, but just because the Indians are saying it. And it has been years, months, and their propaganda has intensified, and their lies and the way they portray things. We are an agro-based economy, and 70% of our economy depends and runs on our agricultural produce, and we have the most fertile land in the region. Of course, India and Pakistan both, but Pakistan also has the most fertile land of Punjab, Sindh, and even Balochistan and KP. So we grow all the food domestically, food, vegetables, fruits. Some of the fruits and vegetables which are not grown elsewhere in the world, or at least elsewhere in the region, are grown in Pakistan and also in India, also in Punjab, Haryana, and all those agri states are actually So, they were saying that there is no flour and people are dying. It's February. So we have already, the wheat is cultivated in the regions of Sindh and Balochistan, Sindh and Punjab. Sindh, and KPK, there are less lands only in the lower, because KPK is on an altitude. So on the lower trains or lower regions of KPK, the province, there is the cultivation of wheat, like DI Khan and other lower Loralai and stuff. So our we are an agro-based country. Wheat is cultivated. It is ready to harvest in April. So we're going to harvest the entire new bulk crop of wheat in this April. Now it's February, March, and April. We already have wheat of the last season, last harvest. Yeah, there is a crisis because there was flood. So the movement, the transportation was difficult. The water was in the field, and yes, there are damages to the crops of wheat and other, because it was the harvest season for the cotton crop. So the worst hit regions in Sindh and Punjab, largely Sindh, because that was the season that we would, that was the point that we were about to harvest the cotton, and the cotton crop was lost. The wheat crop we already had harvested in April of last year, and it was in the stocks. But yes, of course, moving the flour from one region or one city to another, it was a bit difficult. So there was a shortage, and then there is this smuggling also to Afghanistan. Our rice and our wheat and our food products actually go to Afghanistan as well, and from there we get dry fruits and other items. So there was this, there was floods, and the road system was, roads were damaged. So it would take much more time to get the stored flour from one city to another. So there was this shortage, but they were like, people are dying. There is no food, and there is no flour, and there is no petrol. Pakistan is defaulting in 48 hours, in 24 hours. Nothing happens. So there was this meeting going on between the Pakistani government and IMF on regards to how we will manage our physical deficit of our budget, and how would we able to reschedule our deferred payments. And already our debt management was not going to be this good, and our debt was growing, and all sorts of things. And also how would we manage to cut our expenses and kind of diversified our fiscal budgets. So things didn't work out well, or we didn't finalize our negotiation with IMF, and IMF went back to the US, and that was a breaking news. I mean, people are dying in Turkey and Syria. There are other things happening around the world, but Indians are focused. A year and a half or a year ago, they were focusing only on Zelensky, Putin. Now Pakistan defaulting. Pakistanis are starving. Pakistan is this. And Pakistani government, on the other hand, sent like 4 or 3 planes full of food supplies, blankets, and the supplies and products and everything. Full 3 or 4 planes, PIA planes, flew to Turkey, and for the these medicine, not medicine actually, we didn't give them medicines, but food supplies, because we're an agricultural country. So we shared our crops and food and whatever we can. Of course, we are going through a somewhat economic meltdown, but there is no shortage of things. There is a shortage of dollars. Try and understand. So we don't have enough number of dollars to pay off our import bills. We have ordered things from abroad in all the different countries, even around our neighborhood or whatever, like from Dubai or whatever. So we have ordered things, and their things are lying in our ports, but we don't have enough number of dollars to pay off our orders, and we don't have enough dollars to pay off for the things that we import from outside Pakistan.
And that's because our exports are down. And since our exports are down, that means we have surplus things, food items, fruits, all sorts of things lying in our hands. And that's why we gave some of them, filled them up in 4 PIA planes and flew them to Turkey and help our, brothers who needed them most. So we're not a poor country. We just don't have a balanced economic system where, we are exporting, equal amount of things that equal amounts of things that we are importing, so that our trade balance with outside of the world is not very balanced. And that's what we are negotiating with IMF, that we need dollars to pay off our payments in our debts and our orders. And that's the issue. There was a video shared on WhatsApp. I think this lady works for the People's Party. She's a representative, a very good friend. She's from Hyderabad. Acquaintance, actually, not a very good friend, but yeah, friend, acquaintance, somewhat. So she shared this clip. It was, I think, a clip from Turkish TV or some Turkish TV. So there was this Turkish representative. He was from the government, or I don't know, from Red Cross, sorry, Turkish Red Cross. So he said that there was this Pakistani American who went to the Turkish embassy in the United States and donated $30 million anonymously. His name is not known, but he was a Pakistani businessman who donated, but he didn't want his name to be shared. Now, it's not like that Pakistan is a poor country or Pakistanis are poor people. It's just we don't have a very balanced economic system. People people in the West, in EU and in other countries like Brazil and all that, those people who have purchases from Asia prefer Indian and Chinese products compared to the Pakistani, or they at least don't buy directly from Pakistan. Some of the items like rice or cotton, it's so ironic that China buys our rice and our cotton, and then China exports that rice which they got it from us, and the cotton that China got from us, it exports to the US and EU. The Pakistani cotton, which is stamped as made in or from China, is exported to there, because EU and the US and all those countries who need rice and cotton don't buy those products directly from us, for all sorts of different reasons, because China has more aggressive and timely shipments. Pakistan doesn't have the shipping mechanism, so that's all sorts of things. And then with Pakistan and China prefers to pay us in yen, and we don't mind, and therefore it's like it is a bit a issue. Nevertheless, Pakistan has plenty of things. We're not very poor. We are a third world country for all sorts of different reasons, but definitely not poor and not dying of starvation. Definitely, there are other countries who are way much more in need of food or in need of financial help. So stop downgrading us, please, and stop pitifying us. And and the other thing is that I've noticed that Pakistani people are very humble people. So we are not that show off like Indians or self-obsessed people. I find Indians self-obsessed. They're obsessed with their nationality. They're obsessed with themselves. They're obsessed with them being so good and righteous that it's just it actually makes them more fake, and it backfires big time. So I just wanted to clear that everything is fine in Pakistan, and please, Indian social media analysts and conventional media, try to find out stuff. It's not like that India is on cloud nine, and India is a heavenly country, and there are no problems. There are no people, sleeping with their empty stomach, and there is no poverty in India, and there are only good things are happening. And for Christ's sake, there are things happening in Punjab. People are, protesting for illegal arrest and keeping political prisoners for all sorts of extended periods. There's so many bad things happening in India. Try to focus on that and just get rid of your obsessiveness with us, and stop acting like that crazy lover who has just lost his beloved, and it's now all he thinks and talks about the person that he lost. So have a sensibility, please, because it's gonna harm your own credibility, and we will gonna be here like always. Thank you very much for watching, and do pray for people in Syria and Turkey, and anywhere where there is tragedy or loss of human life. One should be there to help out and condole, and be there for them and stand with them. So thank you very much.